Everybody, Palm Springs Cindy. I am here at I don't really know what to call this kind of a party, but it is where we've come together and we brought things from our home, like bring something from your closet that you don't wear anymore, but that's still good, and something that somebody else might still enjoy wearing. So that's what we've done. I brought probably 6 things, and other gals brought things, and so we are here taking turns trying things on. They have, I'm going to say, 2 racks of clothes, and whoever goes is, when they're finished trying things on, then they come back and they tag someone else, and then they go and enjoy picking what they want from the racks. So anyway, it's kind of a fun idea, and I wish you guys were here to join me and to pick out something that you would like from the rack. Welcome. Come on into the living room. Take a look at what we've got to swap.
Hey, Cub.
Oh, cute.
Cub. Leslie. How about this?
Cute.
That's so cute.
Cute.
Try it on. Oh, cute. Is that yours? But yours is much tinier a lot. Well, it's a sweater. It's straighter.
I had it in my garage. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. Keep it it wasn't big enough to keep it. Right. Well, I'm sure it'll be better than nothing for her because she has nothing in there. No way to get any cool air. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, this is me, exactly kind of what I'm doing in the morning. I still have my frowny on from last night. Take that off. It keeps away the 11s. And I get up in the morning. I've already had my coffee sitting by my computer. And I got up, I checked my email, and I'm straight out of bed. I'm in my little den, and I checked my email, went through a few of my messages, responded to a couple. I'm still half asleep. I have a couple Amazon packages that I've opened, and I'm going to share with you what I purchased, because a lot of you have asked me about it. And Poppy is here. I fed Poppy, and my den is exactly what it pretty much always looks like. And it's not red hot because it's lived in. So anyway, I was sitting here taking care of my morning business, and I thought this would be this is a good snapshot into what my life is like if I'm not fluffed up and making sitting on my perch type video. This is basically what my table looks like at the moment, because I've been opening Amazon gifts. I have a towel over there because I put a snack down on the floor for Poppy while I was having my coffee. I'm watching something on YouTube at the moment. My sofa is scrunched up, the top cushions, because that's where Poppy likes to lay and look out the window. So this is where I'm sitting right now, with Miss Papadoo right next to me. So here I am, lazy on my couch, watching YouTube and trying to wake up a little bit. Poppy's right here next to me. She sits right up here on one of the cushions. And I am just filming a tiny bit to show you sort of what I do in the morning and when I'm just vegging and hanging out. See these adorable little tin boxes? They're not, it's hard to take a picture of them because I'm facing the light. And I love that brass disc. That is a Moroccan oven top where they would put the coals in the middle of it. I need to make that, to put that up higher. But from my point of view, and then there's my mother, the big mirror I got from my mother. It's beautiful, and so that's the hallway. And then, you know, the rest of my den, which you guys have seen 100 times. And then that's my new chandelier. And I love my drapes and the rod. The rod's extra thick, but the drapes are really beautiful. They're blackout drapes. So pretty. Hello, everybody. This is Palm Springs Cindy. I am coming to you from my dining room table. I have only been awake probably an hour. I am not fluffed up. I just washed my face. I have had my coffee. I took a little video in my den of me, of just like what I look like straight out of bed. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do today's video not all made up, not sitting in my normal perch area, and I'm not sure about the light. I'm facing natural light, and we'll see how this turns out. So I'm wearing what I slept in last night. It's just a little shift. In fact, let me see if I can stand up. It is just below my knees, and very cozy, comfy, and cool. Poppy, I gave you a treat. Go. I wanted to give Poppy a little chew toy to keep her busy during this video, but I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, I have a couple things to talk about, to share with you guys. One of them, I'm going to start with something that happened a week ago. I was hosting canasta at my house, and there were 3 of us gals. Our 4th gal is away on vacation. So we were playing canasta. It was a great game, fun game as usual. And after you play 4 games, and then at the end of the 4th game, then you tally up your scores. So we had played our 4th game, tallied up our scores, and so on. So I got up and was kind of like cleaning up the kitchen a little bit, because whoever hosts canasta serves dinner. And so I was kind of, you know, wiping off the counter, whatever. And I was tired. It was probably close to midnight. And so the 2 gals were sitting right here, and they were talking, talk, which was fine. And I ended up, I was like sitting here practically falling asleep. So I went on my couch and laid down on my couch. I could still listen in here and whatever, but they didn't even notice I was gone. So finally, one of the gals goes, "Cindy," you know, and I put my hand up in the air, and they go, oh, they laughed, you know, like, oh yeah, she's ready for bed. But they continued their conversation, which was fine. So I only say that because I want you to know that it was getting later and later. Finally, the night was over. Everybody gathered their purses and their, you know, whatevers. And so one of the gals was ready to leave first. She was walking out the door first, while the other gal was still in the house gathering her stuff. So I kind of followed this one gal. I'll call her Woman A. I don't want to give out the name. So Woman A, and so she was, she was just past the doorway, kind of in my ready to be like on my driveway, and she was carrying a basket that she had a bag of popcorn in and some sodas and things that she wanted to bring to eat and to drink for the night. So I walked out, as the hostess. Oh, good night, great evening. Well, anyway, when I walked out, she had fallen. And this is a lady of 80 years old. So a fall at any age is not to be taken lightly. Well, so I did not see her fall, but I got there right after she hit the ground. She fell on her bottom and used her hands to block and to support her fall once her bottom hit the ground. The basket flew over. So she was sitting there. I said, oh my gosh. And so I sat down with her and I said, and I know because I have fallen many times, and 2 of the times I broke my legs. So I know what it's like. So I said, just don't move. Try to, catch your breath. I'm here. It's going to be okay. Because, when you fall, even though, let's say you don't even hurt yourself, but when you fall, it takes you off guard. It is a trauma to your brain and your body. It's a surprise, and it's a risk. You're risking, and you say to yourself, "What have I hurt?" So I said, just when you can, do a mental body check. Do you think you're hurt? And she said, my hip hurts. And she's like, looking around, and she's doing her body check, and so I said, okay, let's just sit here for a minute, which we did. And then all of a sudden we both noticed blood on her pants, blood on the cement. And we both at the same time said, where is the blood coming from? Well, she looked at her knees. She had scuffed her knees, and they were bleeding, but they weren't like bleeding drops. The skin, had been scraped. And so we were like, look, where's the blood? Where's the blood coming from? Well, then she lifted her hand, and as she blocked her fall, she cut her hand open, like along one of these veins, badly. And I knew, oh, that's bad. That needs stitches. That's bad. So anyway, I said, okay, I'm gonna go get some ice and a rag or whatever. So I did. I came back in the house. By this time, the other lady, Lady B, was ready to walk out the door. And I said, Lady A has fallen. She's hurt. And just want you to know what to expect when you walk outside. Well, Lady B is a bit older than Lady A. So Lady B says, oh my gosh. But Lady B is very with it. She goes outside. She's sitting with Lady A while I'm in here. I got a wet rag. I got a dry rag. I got ice. Took it outside. Then they yell back at me, bring a pillow. Took a pillow out there. So we got Lady A. We wrapped a thing around her hand to help stop the bleeding. Put some ice on it, on top of it. I put a wet towel around her neck, just because I think it is refreshing, and it helps, because remember, it's like 110 outside, even at night. Well, maybe 105. And I think anything wet around your neck helps. It just makes you think, ooh, something wet. Takes your mind off, your ailment, I'll say. So Lady A says, help me get up. So one of us is like pushing her up from the back. The other one's pulling her up with her arms. And she said, well, we cannot get her up. She's like just a flop, like a wet noodle. So we all realize she's, including Lady A, okay, can't get up on my own, and even with your help. And then we were like, well, should you roll over on your side? How else can we get her up? Then we realized, what the heck are we doing? She should not be moving. So Lady B says, do you have some glue and steri strips? Because I'll glue her hand together. I knew it was way too far gone for glue. I said, no, Lady B, we cannot do, it's way too deep for glue. In the meantime, I didn't want to scare Lady A, like, oh my, it's way too bad. Oh, she's got to have blah, blah, blah. So, I was trying to, stay as neutral as I could stay. Well, then Lady B and I we didn't have an argument, but like, oh yeah, I can do it. I know how to do it. It'll work. And I was like, no, have you taken a good look at it? So then, anyway, the two of them were not at all thinking, call 911. We need an ambulance. That was like the furthest thing. They were like, get her in the car so she can drive home. Well, I was coming from, she's over 80 years old. She just fell 2 weeks ago and broke her hand and just got that cast off. Now she's fallen again. She mentioned that her hip hurt, which the other gal did not hear her say that. So I took my cell phone, I walked in the house, and I called 911. Well, the ambulance, I think a big fire truck came and an emergency, an ambulance came. And so they came out and took her blood pressure and, temperature and talked to her. Then when they saw her hand, they said, oh yeah, you've got to go to the hospital. This needs stitches. Okay, thank God it was her hand and not her head. Well, she, of course, did not want to go. Who does? Nobody. So then while they were like getting the gurney thing out of the ambulance, we were talking, well, should we drive her? And then we decided, well, if she rolls up in an ambulance, she's not going to have to sit in a waiting room. And then we were like, oh, you guys, while I'm sitting here talking, Poppy just walked outside by herself without me. Hallelujah. And she's sitting in the sun, taking her little sun bath. I am so thrilled to see her be outside without me. Oh, here she's coming back, I think. So this turns out just to be a fiasco, you guys. So then Lady B and I are like, okay, well, I said, I cannot pick her up. I cannot drive at night. It's late. I'm half asleep. This is stressful. Don't depend on me to come pick you up because I'm not going to be able to drive at night, and which is true. Then the other gal, Lady B, says, okay, well, I'll leave my phone on. I'll be able, I'll be able to come pick you up from the ER or whatever. So, okay, they whisk her away. Her car's still in the front of my house. So the next thing, I woke up like at 4 a.m. to go to the bathroom. And I walked out to the front of the house to see if her car was still there. It was gone. So I thought, okay, well, she's back from the ER. She's back from the hospital, and got her car, and she's home. I didn't wonder, did Lady B pick her up? Did she take an Uber home? I didn't know. And I just went back to bed. And then I called her the next morning, late, because I slept in. And so I called her the next morning, and she said she had just woken up, and that when she said she called her son. I didn't realize her son who lives a couple hours away. He lives at the beach. But her son happened to be visiting her. So she called him to come pick her up, which he did. He picked her up from the hospital. So then when he picked her up in his car, they got back to Trilogy. Well, they did not have the gate responder to get into Trilogy. So, and it was like 3 a.m. So she said, we resigned ourselves that we were going to have to sleep in the car on the outside of our gated community because we couldn't get in. So she said, I did try calling. She called her neighbor for the gate code. Well, it just happened to be August 1st by this time. And our gate codes change the first day of every month. It's like, oh my gosh. Do you have the new gate code? And it's 3 a.m. And I'm stuck outside and I fell in my hand and ER, whatever. So, but the neighbor, they know each other. And so he said, yeah, here's the gate code. So she got in, she was able to go to bed. All that, I just felt so sorry for her to have to go through, all that. Okay, it's getting really dark, so I'm gonna turn on some lights. Hold on. Let's see. I don't even think that helped. I think it made it worse. Okay, may have to change positions. See, this is... See, this is where I need to be, but I can't. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to have to hold my phone holder, but at least the lighting should be a little bit better. So the long and the short is my lady friend A had to go to the ER after a fun night of canasta, and it can happen to anyone. And that even fall, in fact, to link that story, yesterday, this is the other thing I wanted to share with you, and then I'll tie it together. Yesterday, one of my friends had a swap party. Well, during that swap party, one of the gals went to her 50th class reunion in the Los Angeles area. And she fell. And she said it was a horrible fall. She fell, and she said, a couple things went through my mind. Number one, what just happened? Number two, she did hurt herself, but it was like a bruising muscle ache hurt, not bleeding or anything. And she fell on her body, not her head or anything, but she was embarrassed, of course, and she said, I just know that these big, strong hands swooped me back up right away, and she was on her feet. So I said, well, did it ruin your evening? And she said, no, I was not going to let it ruin my evening. And she said, I didn't want to act like the old lady that was hurt and call an ambulance kind of a thing. And to where everybody's focus was on, that woman got hurt, she fell, ambulance is here. So she said, she just sort of smiled through it. And she said, and I did have a good time. And I said, well, when you fell, did like your dress come up and everybody see your underwear? She said, yes. So, that's horrible. And she said, and it was men that picked me up because they were strong enough to, a couple men just came and pulled me back up. But I said, but you know what, they're not, even if they happen to see something, it's, that's not, we're all mature and for that nanosecond. But it just adds to the embarrassment of the fall, I think. So anyway, that's how I'm tying in this other gal's fall, that it just happens, lickety-split in a second's notice. So, and of course, with Lady A from Canasta, we did everything wrong because when I did call 911, the lady said, tell me what, explain what's going on. I told her, and she said, okay, do not move her. Okay, this is after we were pushing and pulling her. She said, keep her still. The ambulance is on the way. So, of course, that's what we did. But we did try to move her. And really, we knew better, or I knew better. I should not have done that. Okay, that's what I wanted to share in this video, was just that, that was like a really emotional, sad thing. My video is getting dark again because I just sat down. But I had to share with you about my swap party that was so fun. And maybe I'll have to model the things that I got from the swap party. And I had to tell you about my friend that I had to call 911. And I'm going to see her again tonight. All right, P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation. Bye-bye.